Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Frame by Frame. And this does all the background noise. You live on an area where there's a lot of farmland. There's going to be a lot of roosters and all sorts of noises in the background. Just how it is. But yeah, thank you, Frame by Frame. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. If you do, it's best to send under that family friends gift thing, because it seems easier for PayPal to do it that way. Or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the Exorcist believer. Exorcist, I want to believe. I know people expect me to have this raging fuel of a rant. This was just so damn boring. This movie. That's really the crux of this. It's many years too late. There's been 100 exorcism movies that have done stuff more interesting, better. Well, no, actually, there's not that many good exorcism movies, so. But better than this, sure, I'll give you that. It just really inconsequential. Nothing about it is scary, nothing about it is shocking, nothing about it is memorable. Like, such a lukewarm. It's like eating a wafer. Those little thin wafers, but there's no taste to it. Like, did I even watch this movie? Did I even watch anything? David Gordon Green. That's to you. You dumb shit. Stick to comedies, dude. You're not a horror film director. You don't know how to create scares. You do not know how to create tension. You do not know how to create suspense. And here's the thing, like, I just that guy's like letting me know about the shit that's going to say after I say this. I'm not a fan of this movie. I have this because I was collecting DVDs back in the day and franchises, and also I have this out because someone wants me to do a commentary on this. I do not think this is a bad movie. It's just I'm not a fan of it. I have no issues with the acting. It's just this film never did anything for me. I was never scared by it. I was kind of bored by it. Even back to the day, there's other films back to the day I enjoy more. Alien, Jaws, George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Halloween. Even before that, well, not horror, but 2001: Space Odyssey and Assault on Precinct 13. I'm just talking about like films back in the day I enjoy more. Dog Day Afternoon, I saw that recently. I liked it. There's other films, and then there's other horror films I like more than this. There's other William Friedkin films I like more than this. I like To Live and Die in L.A. more than this. I like The Hunted more than this. The only one of these I liked is this one. This is the only Exorcist of the franchise I really like. I could watch Rennie Harlin's film to laugh at and get some fun out of, but this is the only one I truly enjoy. Because I thought William Peter Blatty really created a surreal atmosphere to this. I think George C. Scott and Brad Dourif gave powerhouse performances, and their back and forth was mesmerizing to me. I love all the like creepy motifs. It has one of the better jump scares in films, and usually I hate jump scares, but this is done very effectively. And I even like the exorcism at the end. There's more shit going on there than there was in this fucking movie with the exorcism. This is the only one I really like. This is the only one I like, period, of the franchise. So maybe I'm not the guy to talk about this. But this is the worst one I've seen of the franchise. Even as a guy that I'm not some hardcore fan. There's one I like, Part 3. Even I'm like, this is easily the worst one because it's the most boring. Okay, I keep saying boring. Other exorcism films of recent years, Deliver Us from Evil, I think it's an underrated one with Eric Bana. No, I didn't find it scary, but I found it entertaining and stylish. I like the idea that it's a cop having to deal with this and trying to understand this world. And there's more going on in the exorcism at the end of that movie, stylish wise, action wise. If you're not going to steer me, which exorcisms just don't steer me, they just never have, then maybe interested with motifs and style or characters or anything up above or down below. Exorcism of Emily Rose, having it be like a court case, was an interesting take on it. And not even just exorcism, but this movie, like I say, it's way behind the times because they're not exorcism, but the few type of scares are ones that were done multiple times in the Insidious films or the Conjuring films, among other movies. And The Conjuring I liked. The Conjuring 2 I didn't mind. Those are way better than this. I did not like The Conjuring 3, and it was better than this. This, like the plot, it's in Haiti, this photographer who's with his pregnant wife, and then there's an earthquake, so he did a lot of shaky cam, because apparently that's a great way to showcase your beginning of your Exorcist movie, shaky cam and CGI additions of this earthquake. So, because that's what you think of Exorcist, right? Shaky cam and CG. So after all the shaky cam, so you can't tell what the fuck's going on, he finds his wife in the rubble, and he has to pretty much choose your wife or the baby. But the way it's done, like how nonchalant the doctors say it, how it's almost like, oh, well, you know, it feels like they choose your toothpaste, Colgate or fucking Crest. That's what it felt like. I had the emotional punch of choosing fucking toothpaste. Do you want to eat my ass? Do you want to suck my dick? There's more emotional punch to that fucking choice I've heard from ladies than this fucking group of doctors. That's the thing. That seemed like, oh, that get the audience going, oh man. But no, you don't give a fuck because you don't know who the hell this photographer is. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know. There's no reason to give a fuck. And even the way it's directed and the way it's shot, there's no sense of idea in style or emotional punch. So years later, that guy's daughter's grown up. And you have these two girls, Angela and Catherine. And all you get about the father and daughter is sometimes they play hide and seek in a way. Like you're literally with them for less than 5 minutes, if that, before one goes with her friend, they go into the woods, they get lost. The father goes to the other girl's parents, they don't know where they're at. They get the officials and police involved. And finally someone randomly finds the girls in a barn. They think they've been lost for hours, but they've really been lost for 3 days. And even as a guy that's not big on the first one, I can at least say there are times where it's trying to have some potential creepy motifs in it. I don't even see that in this. When the father first is looking for the girl, the two girls, he lifts something, there's a snake, and then he finds a shoe. They find the two girls, they feel there's no cups, because, you know, two girls, one cup is scarier than this movie. And they have odd behavior. And then this just plays off like a shitty remake of the first one. Which I'm not even a fan of the first. I like the third one. The one girl, Angela, she looks odd. She'll hit the glass once. She's in bed and sees like a demon behind her dad, which is like something stolen out of fucking Insidious. Where someone looks and you have this quick shot of a demon behind someone's shoulder. Many other movies did before Insidious, but I think of it. Remember that shot in Insidious where it's like that red-faced demon right behind, was it Patrick Wilson's shoulder? You see, like, instant. I'm like, David Gordon Green just stole that fucking shot. He literally stole that fucking shot, only the demon looks like a fake version of Linda Blair. Or they get home, and I guess she pissed her bed. I couldn't even really tell, except that Liz getting into the bath, and he's in the covers, and then she tries to suffocate him for like 10 seconds, then she goes to a seizure. Meanwhile, the other girl, Catherine, she goes into a church, yells, "The body and the blood," and then she collapses, and they take her to the hospital. One of them bleeds in the bed. The lead guy doesn't know what to do, so this nurse, who somehow, they explain, but she knew Ellen Burstyn. And Ellen Burstyn from the first one, right there in the first movie. She's about 90 years old, and from what I understand, the only reason she did this movie is because she got paid money that, hey, I'm going to use it for actors that are trying to get into the practice at first. It's like to scholarships and actors guilds, like to help young up and coming people. Which, I mean, makes sense because she's 90 years old. It's when you're 90 years old, I hate to say this, you're not going to be around much longer. I mean, I'm sorry to be rude, but that's the truth. So it's like, I guess it's like, hey, I'll do this. Let me leave something for these people. And, good on her. These fools, fine. If she pockets a little bit of change, hey, fuck this. I got a couple years left. I'm going to spend this shit the way I want to. Good on Ellen Burstyn. You're 9 years old. Do what the fuck you want. Fuck these people. You give me this shitty script, I'm like in 10 minutes of the movie. Fuck it. Go for Ellen Burstyn. And she is in like 10 minutes of the movie. They'll build it up like she's in it so much longer. She's not. It says the lead guy goes to Ellen Burstyn, and she gives exposition. Reagan, her daughter, Linda Blair, she left and never came back because Ellen Burstyn wrote this book that was successful, and Linda Blair was pissed off about it. Reagan was pissed off. So, and then of course, David Gordon Green or whoever the fuck the idiot had to put this line in there, because the lead guy's like, well, how come you weren't at the exorcism? Well, because I wasn't a member of the damn Patriarchy. Give me a rat's ass. You wanna know why? Because you didn't know shit about exorcisms. And they didn't want the demon to possess you or use you. It's like, hey, I don't want the mom to see her daughter jerk off with crucifixes more. Or maybe jam a fucking pine cone up her ass. Or jam Max von Sydow's head up her cooch. What the fuck could happen? And what the fuck is Ellen Burstyn supposed to do? Shoot coarse language at her? Watch and be... She couldn't do shit, so there's no reason for you to be in the fucking room. You couldn't do shit. You weren't a priest. You weren't a rabbi. You weren't Confucius. There's no reason for you to fucking be there. Didn't matter if you had tits or not. And the fact David Gordon Green left that in there, even if he didn't write it, he directed the shit. You're a fucking idiot, David Gordon Green. You're a fucking moron. Piss up a rope, please. No, piss into the wind so to fly back in your face. Fucking idiot. You do not know how to do horror films. And pretty much she arrives just to go upstairs, assume she'd do an actress, and obviously you proved everything right. Wasn't the patriarchy, it was your inexperience and stupidity. Just lo and behold, it was proven right. She went upstairs by herself, she tried to do some exorcism, and this is not Angela, the lead guy's daughter, this is the other Catherine, the religious couple's daughter. Goes up, stabs Ellen Burstyn in the eyes, but the shitty editing, you could barely tell what the fuck was going on. It was like... And, someone finally hears her screams and gets her, and... What have you done? What have you done? Motherfucker, you brought Ellen Burstyn here because you think there's possession. What do you think? Aliens controlled her. What have you done? She got Ellen Burstyn out of the movie. That's what she did. But I guess it proved her right. Hey, bitch, you shouldn't be in the fucking exorcism because look what happened. Look what happened. You got your eyes plucked out. And you wonder why you weren't there before. You fucked up, your eyes plucked out, you were not, even with all the knowledge you had through all these decades, you obviously were not prepared for this. So it just made Ellen Burstyn's character look like a fucking moron. The more I think about it, made her look like a dumbass. Like a fucking idiot. Maybe this will be a rage rant. This is just stupidity. Boring stupidity. So she's alive, but she's blind now. Because her eyes were fucking stabbed out. She has to be alive so that they do those 2 sequels. Well, David Gordon Green won't direct them anymore. Who gives a shit? The story fucking sucks. Why do you want to see more? Then they get this idea, okay, let's get different religions. Let's get Baptist and Pentecostal and someone else. Even though most of them don't really do anything but stand there with their thumb up their ass. And then you get the exorcism, only it's 2 girls. Instead of tied to the bed, they're tied to a chair. So that makes all the difference in the world. Someone does something and this fart vapor comes out of their mouth. That's what it looked like, fart vapor come out of their mouths. And that's like all that happens during the exorcism. Like, at least you can remember some of the crazy stuff in the original, the puking, the 180 twist, well, the 360 really twist. Of the head floating up. You can remember moments. There's nothing to remember of this exorcism. Barely anything happens. Fart vapor comes out of the mouth. This Father Maddox who didn't want to do it, he finally comes in, and 10 seconds later, he gets his neck twisted with some CGI help. That's like the 2 things I can remember that happened during the entire goddamn exorcism. If there's anything else, I'm sorry, I can't remember it. I mean, even compared to other exorcism movies, it's like, there's been so many. It's such a genre that's been milked to death. Like the zombie genre. It's like, what more can you do with this? Obviously nothing. If people like this exorcism bit, tell me, what did you like about it? What happened during it? Does this only two things I remember the whole fucking thing? And then saying there's no like crazy bits of shock value or inventive creative stuff that happens, or wow, I haven't seen that before, or wow, that was crazy, or that was creepy. There's none of that. I guess the other thing is to let everyone know that back then the lead, the dad, had, when that choice happened, he chose his wife, but the wife died during childbirth, so even when that happened, he chose the wife, but the wife died. Which is very prevalent to what's going to happen. Because then the two possessed girls, the demon says, you need to choose. Choose which one to die. And the lead, the father, he goes, I'm not going to choose. And technically the mom of the other girl says she's not going to choose, but the dad does. So, much like what happened back in the day, the dad, back in the day, the lead, he chose one, but the one he chose died anyway. Here, the one they chose, you think the other girl, the lead guy's girl, Angela's going to die, but no, she's alive, and the one the religious dad chose, she dies. And dragged to hell. Not just dies, but dragged to hell. So then you look at this finale and you're going, okay, evil won. I mean, evil did win. The Exorcists, they did nothing. They didn't accomplish anything. They didn't do anything to succeed. They were fucking useless. Useless. They lost. Most of them barely did anything, and the few that did, one got killed by his head turned to a fucking, almost a Pez dispenser. The other, some bile went to the fucking ceiling that looked ridiculous. So, the more righteous one was saved, in a way that, like, at least the dad, I'm not going to choose, that in a weird way that's the more righteous answer, and that's the one that gets. You think the devil would want the more righteous and punish? You think the devil, demon, whatever, will want to punish the more righteous one? Oh, you punish. How do I put it? You are less selfish. You are more noble. I'm the one. You're the one I'm gonna fuck with. That the demon, devil, whatever, would fuck with the less selfish, more righteous one. But no, the father, who's the religious guy, who's the more selfish one, and granted, he wants his daughter to live, so that's a selfish people to understand, but sacrifice the other one, and I guess maybe by rules, technically you were more. You sinned more, so now you're punished. I don't know, just felt like a weird plan for the demon devil to do, and then evil winning, and the Exorcist being completely fucking useless and pointless, and all the idea of all the religions together meant jack shit. That was the problem, I guess, because when it was just one, it succeeded in the first one, barely. It succeeded in this one. So I guess, is that the rule? Is that the motive? Is that the operandus? Don't have all religions in there? Or you fuck it up? That was their fuck up. They had too many religions. Too much of a bukkake. Too much of an orgy. Too much of a goddamn town meeting. Too much. I guess it's too much, man. Can't have all the religions there. You fucked it up for everybody. But then after they try to give like this big speech about hope and belief and Then right in, Linda Blair gets her cameo and sees Ellen Burstyn. How the fuck did Linda Blair's character even hear about any of this? I don't know. But she's there for... because they don't try to put her in sequels. They get a shotgun and go after the demon with a shotgun. Blow her fucking head off, maybe. I didn't care about the acting. The lead guy, I don't think he was a bad actor. He's just given nothing to do and nothing to work with. Nothing to really... You need some good dialogue. That helps. Don't have it in this. Stairs? What stairs? What, the bit where the dad turns on the light and his daughter's just there looking up? Even the attempts are few and far and flimsy in between. This is a movie that barely didn't have a pulse. I would say barely had a pulse, but never really had a pulse to it. Just a lame ass, boring, dog shit of a movie. Dog shit movie. I mean, with the films I've seen this year, it's not in my top 10 worst. But listen, I would never see this again. Like I say, the only Exorcist to me is the third one. But I mean, even the one with Rennie Harlan is easily much more accessible and watchable than this. The beginning. I would easily watch that over this. 2, I would rather watch 2 because that's more, at least, weirder and more stuff to talk about. That's more creative. It's a bad type of creative, but it's more creative than this. Na 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 na. So yeah, congrats, David Gordon Green. You made the worst, most boring flick of the franchise. Cool story, bro. Get the fuck away from horror. Can you please? Can someone just... See, this is what you did. This is what you did for, giving this guy money for the Halloween films. He did such a shit job with it. And there you go. I think they will do the sequels because they paid too much money for this stuff. Let alone hope that the sequel will be better and will utilize Linda Blair more and we'll get a different director. Well, you never know. There's been times they don't learn anything. But I don't... Someone said, oh, the sequel's going to be canceled. I don't think the sequel's going to be canceled. Because they don't hope that, this will be looked at in a better light. I guess with this movie, I mean... I would say it'd be hard to make it worse, but they can always make it worse. But if you had someone with half a talent, they could make a better movie than this. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.